and welcome back to ESO Live. This is our first show of 2016. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yay.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Gina Bruno.
And we are your ESO community managers, English language, because you guys probably don't want to watch the show in French and German.
You don't want us to try and speak French
No.
and German. It would be so embarrassing. So it's been a while since we've seen you guys, and it's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, so it's good to be back.
Yay! So real quick, as always, we are going to go over the show review with you so you can see what we're talking about today. First, we are going to do a year ahead follow-up with our game director, Matt Firor, on the show for the first time ever.
Woo!
Yeah.
After that, we will go over the current official ESO news.
Then we will be joined by lead PvP designer Brian Wheeler for some Alliance War news.
And he might be sitting offset. Then we'll have a Ask Us Anything where we answer some of your questions from the official forums.
And as always, we will have a few giveaways throughout our show. So stay tuned, because we have a couple items that just you can't buy anywhere. And you can only win them here.
Yep. So
First up, we are going to get right into the year ahead follow-up with Matt.
Hey everyone.
Oh,
Great to
I
be
thought
here.
we were doing a thing. Doing it live.
and he's here.
It's
And
live.
Here he is.
Yeah, it's great to be here. This is actually my second ESO Live. Believe it or not, my first one was almost exactly a year ago when we were announcing Tamriel
for
Unlimited.
Tamriel Unlimited,
That's
yep.
right.
And that kind of sums up my opening remarks in that that was only a year ago yet. And that year we did a whole lot of stuff. We did
feels like so long ago.
change the business
Yes.
model, console launch, 2 DLCs. So 2015 was super successful for us. The game is doing very well. We're super happy where it is. 2016 we kind of want to keep the ball rolling. We got lots of new stuff coming up. We've already talked about the first 2 DLCs. We have lots of quality of life fixes. We have some polish coming in, a lot of stuff, and there's already a lot of questions queued up that people want me to answer as part of the post that I wrote introducing people to the year.
So thank you so much for joining us. So in your year ahead article that went up earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday,
Yes.
you went over some of the stuff that people can look forward to in 2016, including Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, things that are also coming in Q3 and Q4. And we've had a lot of really good questions that have come up from the official forums and Twitter and Facebook that we've pulled today to ask you. So let's get started with the first one.
Sure. Sorry, I'm kind of just all over the place here.
Oh, no problem.
Brain is somewhere else. So as just mentioned, a lot of these questions came directly from the forums. A lot of people had questions about, well, what does this mean? What about this? So we have some pre-selected questions here.
Yep.
The first being if we are ever going to offer race changes as part of the character recustomization options.
Yeah, that was part of my post that I put up, that we were going to be putting in some what we're calling unofficially the barbershop, which is where you can go change your name, change your appearance, change hairstyles. Change race will be one of those. There's no ETA right now on when we're going to have that because it's a pretty big system. It's not part of our first 2 quarters of content, and so but it is definitely in our plan.
So some people have asked, why does it take so long to design? What are some of the things that go into designing this type of a system that make it take a while?
Well, the reason why it takes a while is because there are about 80 other systems that are also
true,
being worked
yeah.
on and
Yeah.
people want
There's
worked
a
on.
lot.
So most of the timeline is what do we need to do now? What problems do we need to fix? What content do we want to bring online? And yeah, every quarter we want to bring on some new features, and the barbershop is one of those. So in and of itself, it's not so complex, but there's a lot of other stuff
Same
we need to do
resources.
also. Same resources.
Right, okay. So can you tell us a little bit more about your comment regarding a major change in how World Zones treat player character levels?
Yeah, so the first major section of my post about what's coming up this year was about our new focus on social, and that's where we want to remove the barriers so that people can play with each other much easier with fewer restrictions. You can see that what we've done in Orsinium, what we did in Imperial City, where players of all levels can play together.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah, that's gone really, really, really well. Much better than we ever would have hoped. And you can also see it in the group finder updates we did last update, where players of mixed alliances can go into dungeons together.
Yeah,
So,
people can play with their friend that
Yep.
just started.
so just think of that as like, that's the philosophy of what we're going for, and we're going to apply that to as many game systems as we can over time, just to make it easier for people to play together in this online game where you play with other players. So we want to kind of relax the restrictions.
A little bit more freedom.
Yeah, so the systems you see rolling in over the course of the year will be, will have that in mind as they go in. So no major announcements today, but you'll see things going on over time as that you'll see. You can play with more people and so forth, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So in the last update, we made a lot of improvements to the grouping tools, and one of the things everyone really were kind of missing was some sort of cross-alliance grouping that you could do outside of the grouping tool. So they were wondering if that's something that they can look forward to.
That is something we really want to do, but no ETA on it right now. And a lot of these dates I'm going to be vague with, because we're pretty, obviously for the update coming up with Thieves Guild, it's almost on PTS. Dark Brotherhood's after that, and anything after that, I don't want to actually talk about a specific
Because it's a
date
whole year.
because that's so far in the future. But yeah, that's something we definitely want to do.
Okay. Have we considered adding more skill lines to the game that aren't passives?
We do, but it's going to be a while before we do that.
Okay.
We need to work on balance and making sure everything works together the proper way. As everyone knows, we have some serial performance problems, which I talked about in my update. A lot of those are caused by player abilities interacting with each other when a whole lot of people are in the same place at the same time. So the last thing we want to do is introduce more complexity
Before
by
we
doing
fix.
that. But yeah, that's something we eventually want to do.
Okay.
We've seen some people thinking that the in-game economy is suffering a bit since so many of the items are bind on pickup, and just wondering if we're doing anything to sort of breathe some new life into the in-game economy.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we always take in mind. You want to do the clicker on the...
Oops.
Sorry, a technical thing.
Do the clicker.
Do the clicker.
I'm having just immense technical problems over here.
Yeah, Gina's lost
I am
internet,
just-
so yeah. But as to that question, sorry about that, guys. But we really want to update things so that crafters and everything can actually do content along with the other people, keep it up to date. We don't want to get in a situation where players can out-level things, or we change a system and then suddenly you can't do things that you used to do. So we will definitely keep that in mind.
Okay. We've long had players ask about older item sets, like the Warlock set is a really popular one. Are we
Yep.
considering adding VR16 versions, or once we remove VR, the VR system, high-level versions of older sets?
So that is something we absolutely want to do, but no ETA on that, because that's, we have to get the veteran rank removal stuff is coming in the Dark Brotherhood update, which is in the second quarter of this year. So expect to hear more about that starting about then.
Okay.
So what about crafting? From VR1 until VR16, there's a lot of styles
Yep.
being given by the material used, but will the crafting system be reworked in any way to fit more in the level 50 areas?
Yeah, when we remove veteran ranks, we're going to take care of that and make sure that everything's going to be updated to support it. Because really, you don't ever want to level yourself out of that. So when we remove the ranks, we'll change the crafting system to compensate. So it'll all be in lockstep.
Okay.
Right on.
So it's really awesome to hear that console is getting text chat. There's been much rejoicing on the internet about that. Are you still considering adding voice chat to PC and Mac?
Yeah, console text chat was one of our most requested features. So we are not planning on doing voice chat for PC and Mac, mostly because most PC gamers already have a voice chat system that they know and love, and they already use and have an account system. Have an account, and they're just used to using it, and their friends are used to finding them on it. And so any system that we do won't necessarily take the place of those. So we'll just let PC players bring the voice chat system they want, that they do already, just to keep that comfortable. But console, of course, has one system, and either you support it or you don't. So that's why we're using the console voice chat system.
Something else that we had mentioned quite a while ago was crafting bags, and they were just wondering if that's something that is still being worked on. Is it still going to be exclusive to ESO Plus members?
Yep, crafting bags are absolutely in the plan. We are scheduling them to be in the Dark Brotherhood update, which is Q2. They will be an exclusive for ESO Plus subscribers, but essentially it'll give you an infinite inventory for crafting materials.
Awesome. Will you ever allow us to buy extra character slots? We get that request a lot from players.
Yes. Again, Dark Brotherhood, the Q2 update. We will. That's when we're planning on doing it. We'll see if that feature makes it, but we are definitely planning on doing that. More details coming after Thieves Guild.
All right.
Nice.
Sweet.
And somebody else was asking about the rest of the facial animation tech. Now, that's not clear if there's a next step to it, or if they're asking about maybe the Mac client.
Yeah, the Mac client has not supported our facial animation tech for a while. Fortunately, the 64-bit support that we're doing in the Thieves Guild version, so it's coming up very soon, actually ungates a lot of the Mac performance problems that we've been having, because Mac is obviously a 64-bit operating system. So with the 64-bit support, that really gives us the ability to do the features which weren't there on Mac, and definitely the number one there was our new facial animation system that we did last summer. So that should be in and working then.
Great. So when you remove veteran ranks, what is going to happen to the weapons and armor that currently have the VR requirements on them that people already have on their players? And what about crafting materials and crafting styles that have VR requirements?
Yep, our goal here is that nobody loses access to anything when VR ranks are removed. So for specifics on how that works, just wait until after the Thieves Guild update gets released, and we move on to talking more and more about the specifics and the update that comes after that. But yeah, but our goal is you're not going to lose access to anything.
Great.
What about there's a low-res texture bug. Somebody was asking if the 64-bit client is going to address that.
I don't know 100% really. I know that the 64-bit client fixes a ton of performance problems with loading textures and so forth. So it will help client performance overall. So not exactly sure if it'll fix that particular bug. I know the one that players are talking about here, where you turn a corner and you see a low-res texture for a little bit, and then it pops into place. It certainly will help it. I don't know if it'll actually fix it, though.
And for what it's worth, we're going to be going a lot into the 64-bit client and a bunch of other stuff that's in Thieves Guild. You know, soon. Like Matt says, no ETA, but soon.
Soon. We'll have articles that describe a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got our last question here. Can you elaborate on how often you expect to raise the champion point cap, and approximately by how much?
Yeah, so for those that aren't completely aware of this system, we put a cap on how many champion points you can accumulate at once, mostly to keep more casual players not be completely out-leveled by the hardcore players, and then be at a serious disadvantage. So what we're going to do there, we're not going to raise them for Thieves Guild, because not that many people relatively have hit the cap even now. Our plan right now is every DLC after the Thieves Guild will up the cap by maybe 50 points or so, but 51 points, because that has to be divisible by 3. But basically the goal there is we're going to find the sweet spot that it keeps the hardcore players interested in getting more and more champion skills, but don't make the people who aren't committed to playing so much feel like they're being left behind. So every quarter maybe 51 points, something like that. But that's our going in philosophy.
And if you've already earned them, and they're just kind of sitting there waiting for you to be able to spend them, you'll automatically get them when we raise the cap?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. And actually, we did have a few more questions.
Yeah, just kidding. There's a couple more. Can't leave yet. So with the PvP part of the justice system no longer being worked on, is there anything planned to add more depth to the current justice system?
So a lot of the Thieves Guild, some of the quests in the Thieves Guild actually play into the justice system a little bit. So yes, but I'm not going to go into a lot of details on that right now. But yeah, the reason why we didn't do the PvP, I announced that we're not doing the PvP side of the justice system, is really, it was just, there were just too much possibility of game-breaking situations happening when we wanted to keep to keeping PvP in the PvP zone and PvE in the PvE zones.
Okay. And last question for real this time. Will a Dragonstar Arena ever scale?
In our plans, no ETA right now, though. But yeah, we see the feedback on that. We want it to. This goes back to we want the game to be a little more forgiving socially and let more people experience more content. And so, yes, we want to do it, but no ETA right now.
Okay. So that wraps up all of our questions. If we get any more, we'll see if we can address them during the next ESO Live or maybe even on the forum. So thank you everybody for submitting those. And Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
And have a
Good
great
to
weekend.
have you.
Thank you.
So next up, we are going to go over the official news. So stay tuned. So we're back with the official news.
And shifting. We're all shifting.
So we will go over what's been going on for the last couple weeks and what you can look forward to in the near future.
It looks like I have some kind of smudge on my arm. Oh, look, I'm Matt Firor. I'm the game director. When did that happen?
Sweet.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just be Matt forever. No, it's all good. I was going to say I have some stuff on my arm, but no, it was just Matt. And anyway, so we recently wrapped up our Million Reasons to Play giveaway, where you could potentially win $1 million. Very exciting. So we will be contacting winners around February 1st, and that's for the grand prize winner and also all the second place runner-ups that get, I think it was 3,000 crowns each, 2,000?
Something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Numbers. 3,000, they're saying. Or was that 3 crowns?
3,000.
Thank you. But don't worry, the hashtag Million Reasons to Play will live on forever. And we just wanted to go over some of our favorites that we saw across social media. It was really fun because we had a bunch of our own, and it was really cool to see other people kind of joining in why they play ESO too.
So here's a few of them.
I can't read that.
And some of these are in German, but they're still fun to look at.
You should go ahead and try and pronounce that one. Oh my.
We love Drunk Nord.
Drinking that mead.
So we will still continue to favorite and share ones that you all submit. We're always on the lookout for good reasons.
Mystery meat. It's very quiet. I don't know what to say.
I love how when you guys don't speak, you can actually hear the mouse clicks.
Really? We're just going to sit here and let you guys read.
Now it's a golf broadcast.
Very nice. That was a very nice tweet. And here comes the German tweet. And this is another German tweet. It's very good. Referencing the book.
This is one player's
You know what? We're not
Captain
allowed-
America.
We're not allowed to go on vacation anymore.
All right,
Anyway.
so those were some of our favorite Million Reasons to Play tweets. Thank you so much for submitting them. And next up, we had incremental patch 2.2.9 go live on PC and Mac earlier this week. That included in Imperial Sewers event fix in Imperial City. Lots of fixes
Again.
and improvements to Maelstrom Arena. The fix for looting Praxen in Veteran Spindle Clutch, and more. You can read the full patch notes on ElderScrollsOnline.com.
Yay, patch notes. So once the PC patch went out last Monday on NA and EU, we had a fix in there for Battle Spirit. Unfortunately, Battle Spirit broke. We apologize. We are aware. We are fixing it. That will be addressed in the next PC incremental patch. And for console, unfortunately, that bug will be in. Basically, the Battle Spirit health bonus will no longer be modified or increased by other health percentage increases. So that bug will be in for the console incremental, which will be later this month, but we will fix it for the next patch after that. Also, Camo Hunter, we had a fix for that in 2.2.9, where basically it was proccing multiple times when you were dual wielding, and the fix took effect, but all it did was kind of reduce the amount of time that happened, so you might still see it occasionally, but again, we're aware and we are fixing that.
Fixing all the things.
Yes.
The next incremental patch for console, the one that she was mentioning, is in certification right now, and it will be coming later this month. It does include most of the fixes from the previous PC incremental patches.
We have a event that, well, I can't look it up because I have no internet, but basically one of our guilds is putting on sort of a guild versus guild, I can't even read this thing that it says. PvP, it literally says PvP little event thingy tomorrow, but it's actually today. So, what do we say about not going on vacation anymore? Boy. So this is happening tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Last time we checked, the exact location and server was still being determined, but there is a forum thread in the Alliance War section if you want to go there.
And we could probably put out a tweet about
the guy is Jules. Just chat with him if you're interested in joining. All of the rules and the details are listed on the first post, so take a look at that. It definitely seems like a good time for a bunch of guilds to get together and just go at it.
And currently there is a Crown Store sale for bag upgrades that is happening until Monday, the 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 50% off. So if you have way too many sweet rolls in your bags, you can now get an upgrade.
Nice.
I know we all carry around too many things. There's also a Sony European PlayStation 4 sale where you can get up to 64% off ESO, and that is happening until January 22nd at midnight GMT.
And lastly, if you ever have any requests for the community team, you're welcome to email us at our address. It's community@elderscrollsonline.com.
I think we need to take a breather.
I think
Do a giveaway.
you know what I need to do? I just need a fan or something. I'm dying. I'm sorry.
So we are going to be giving away one of these mugs. These are actually really special. They're not sold anywhere. They've got a gold Ouroboros across the top.
They were some promotional thing.
Yeah. We have some of them.
something.
They're pretty hefty. Stoneware mugs.
Is this messing with the mic?
You're okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
So if you would like to win this, just type the word empty, because it's empty. And you can fill it with whatever you want. Maybe hot chocolate this time of year.
We'll fill it with packing peanuts when we send it to you. Hey, guess what? I have no idea who the winner's going to be because I don't have internet.
That's okay. Kai can read it to us.
You can just shout it out.
Shout it out.
It's kind of weird. I have no idea what's going on. Like if the giveaway is even happening, we're just going to sit here.
What's happening? I can see it over there.
Okay.
You're doing it live.
This is so awkward.
Gina's
so
life.
high. I'm just not. Getting some hardcore hot flashes here.
All right, Kai.
Okay.
We got a winner.
Help.
And the winner is Sir Hyde.
Sir Hyde.
Hyde?
Congratulations. We will send your mug.
Hyde or
Next
height?
week.
Like Hyde?
Hyde, like Jekyll and Hyde.
Right.
Okay. Sir Hyde.
As in go hiding.
Oh,
Like Dr. Jekyll.
congratulations.
All right. So
I get it.
next up,
Next up, we have Brian Wheeler for Alliance War News.
we are back.
We're over here now.
We're there.
We're
not
here.
there.
We're here now.
there. And there's a new laptop
It's
for
good
you.
to know
Wait a
that in
minute.
2016 we still can't find the right camera.
You want a laptop?
Nothing has changed, no matter what.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Would you like
are
a
we
fresh
gonna
laptop?
are we gonna do a little swappy-roo
Why
here?
not? Hi,
Hey,
guys.
let's get you internets.
Yay!
You're live.
I can't.
There you go.
All right. So while she gets set up, Brian,
Hi.
thank you for joining us again.
Sure.
Feels like we ended 2015 with you, and we're
Yeah, Happy
joining
New Year.
2016 with you.
Happy New Year,
It's
everybody.
like we're bookending with Wheeler.
That's scary.
Here, can you throw that over there? Thanks.
Throw it.
Don't throw it.
Throw it. That's me.
So
Hi.
with the year ahead, some of our players asked and why there weren't more updates
give
in the
up.
year ahead about PvP.
Right.
Forget it.
And we know that a lot of your stuff is still happening, so
Yeah.
why don't we open up by talking a little bit about what we're doing to help performance
Sure.
in Cyrodiil.
So there's no whiteboard today. Sorry, guys. No memes for you.
Just don't have anything today. Come on.
What, do you want the crab here? You can.
That's just gonna make them all hot.
You can put it on your back for your support. There you go.
It's a lumbar pillow.
Right. So the updates we've been working on recently, there will be. We're planning on an incremental in like the next 2 weeks to address some things regarding how some underlying comment formulas are being handled. Things that are firing off a little bit too many things in terms of information from the client to the server and back. We're finding some ways to streamline those so it's not as stressful on the server.
Okay.
One of the bigger changes we're looking at doing later, though, is going to come with Thieves Guild, where we're starting to reshuffle a lot of abilities. Their functionality will stay the same, but
So
how
no changes
in their functionality except for like specific stuff from Robo and the combat team of actual balance changes.
Right.
Those will still go through.
But nothing on your end.
No, it's going to be a lot of, well, this ability is calling a requirement here, let's shift that and have it call a requirement somewhere else. So it's making it not hit the server as much per ability cast or per weapon swap or per roll dodge. Like all these things that you do have to hit the server. So we're trying to call down on the amount of those things as well as streamline those. Like I said, we'll be doing a couple in an incremental patch, and then when Thieves Guild comes along, we'll be doing some more changes then too.
Okay.
That one's taking a little bit longer because it requires a lot of code work and data work.
So what I'm hearing is maybe we need to have a PvP event on the PTS.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
All right.
So, as Matt mentioned in his Year Ahead article, the PvP portion of the justice system is no longer happening.
Right.
So what are your main plans for PvP kind of in the coming year?
Like in the coming year. So last time we were here, we talked a little bit about how we're
like
discussing
a month ago or something.
Yeah.
It was a while.
We were talking at the time about town capture and Imperial City district capture.
Right.
We are still planning on doing those this year. Where they're going to fall in the grand scheme of the course of things. We're still trying to nail that down because there's going to need to be a little bit of UI work, but we are planning on making several of the towns in Cyrodiil capturable and giving you like a respawn point or some other benefits. In Imperial City, we're going to go back and revisit that a little bit and add the capture mechanic into Imperial City districts. So you can capture a district, get some bonus towards like Telvar Stone gain, as well as changing how the respawn functionality works in there. Short of that, we're also looking at, obviously, updates as we go for performance reasons. We're trying to see if we can maybe get some new siege weaponry added or also adding tweaks to the siege weaponry. That's a big point where that thread, that wonderful, I think it's 30 pages long thread now for siege weaponry. We finally got that stuff nailed down. So in Thieves Guild, there'll be a lot of siege changes coming.
Okay.
So it's not just, the PvP portion of the Dark Brotherhood, and that is not something that is going to go along with Justice or anything like that, but the PvP crew, we're still working on things.
Now, more longer term, instance PvP, small scale organized PvP is something that's asked about
Yep.
a lot, and some people noticed that that wasn't mentioned in the Year Ahead article, and they were
Right.
concerned that it might
No,
not
it didn't,
still be a thing.
It didn't fall off or anything. We're still working on it. The deal with that is, again, we want to make it very good. It has to be not just here's a zone, there's a flag, go fight. We want to give you, in Battleground leaderboards rewards, a good way to get into it and have it be, an even 4-on-4 or an 8-on-8 or whatever we do for that. So it's not just going to be a matter of shove it out there without UI, like what we did at QuakeCon back in the day, holding it together with duct tape and glue.
Yeah.
So
there was just no feedback there. It was like, I don't know what's happening except we're fighting.
It is.
In this small space.
It's in design discussions right now, which means it's going to take a bit to actually get out there. But we need to go through design reviews. We need to go through technical reviews, figure out where it all falls in the grand scheme of thing with all the other plans we have, like you saw in Matt's update.
But it is still active,
It's still-
hasn't fallen off,
Yes.
still in progress.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
There was a pretty interesting idea we saw in the forums where they were talking about implementing like a test campaign on the live servers, not just on the PTS. That way that they can, test things without being required to use PTS, which is a whole nother client.
Yep.
You thought about that?
We've thought about it. The problem with doing that is that once it's on the live server, it's a different data rule set across the board for everything globally. So combat. I know that there was a question about, well, can't you just do a AoE capless Cyrodiil?
To see how it would go.
Right, and we don't have the capability to do that because all the campaigns share the same code base across the board for combat. Like combat is it's a universal thing.
So if you removed AoE caps, it would be for the
Everywhere.
whole game.
Yeah,
everywhere.
if we changed the other request and is, how about dynamic alt gen, or how about having
Right.
a campaign with no guards, like all that, even no guards is a different data rule set entirely. So it would pretty much double the amount of servers that we would need to actually have that work, as well as actual data that we need to handle. It would be literally 2 separate branches of the game live at the same time for that to function. And that, we're not saying it's not impossible. However, that is an astronomical amount of work to do, and to make that work, it would be literally kind of like making the whole game again. So it's a nice idea, but it's one, unfortunately, that is not feasible to do, which is why whenever we do have PTS with new things on there, it's like, please go hammer it, go see what we did, if there's anything that broke, if there's anything that fixed, by all means, go on there and call it out like crazy.
Okay.
So sadly, we can't do it on the live environment, but that's why we have PTS.
that was
when
a
we
good
push the
idea.
PTS. Yep.
I just realized you are representing Baltimore real hard today.
I always represent Baltimore. We're a Baltimore studio, so.
And us.
And us.
Right there.
Yes. I do both.
Well,
Sorry. I know, that sucked, didn't it? How are your ears?
Oh,
Everybody's ears on the internet right now, huh?
audio's like, stop. I was going to say we could take some questions from chat, but
You can't take questions.
Yeah,
Kai can
well,
read them all.
if you do
unless
have...
there is anything, you can shout it out.
I got a question from Shadow Fighter. He would like to know how long the non-champion campaign is going to last. It's 7 days.
Oh,
very good.
How
yeah.
long, we should repeat it in case they can't hear,
Yeah.
how long the non-champion campaign is going to last.
That, we're still trying to nail down which campaign we're going to convert, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to convert one of the campaigns that's out there already to be a non-champion.
And you're
We
going to give
don't
people
know.
plenty...
Yeah, there'll be
Heads up,
a
yeah.
notification on the forums to this is the one that we are changing. It's either going to be a 7 or a 30, obviously. We're leaning towards a 30-dayer, but there's different amounts of campaigns in Europe and US on consoles. So we're going to have to make a breakdown of each individual region and console to do that. So.
If it ends up being really popular, do you see opening up
Other
another one?
ones? Yeah, sure. I mean, if we see the flood in that, and then there's queues like crazy for it, we may either convert another one or open up another one. Like if the queues are full for all of them, we'll do that.
Great. All right. Kai, any more questions? Okay. Well, then that wraps up our segment with Brian Wheeler. If you have any additional questions for him that we haven't covered, feel free to post them on the official forums in the Alliance War section.
Yep.
He watches there very regularly. So thanks so much for joining
Sure.
us. And have
Thanks.
a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
And next up is going to be our Ask Us Anything segment, so stay tuned.
Have the paper?
Nope, up there. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Just chit-chatting.
So next up we have our Ask Us Anything segment. We generally pull these questions from the official forums, so if you ever have a question, feel free to post them there. And we do look on Twitter as well and Facebook. So first one is from Randolph Benoit. He's one of our regulars. Can all active player accounts, can all active player accounts expect something special in our in-game mailboxes for this holiday season? So we're actually working hard to better support fun in-game events that spice up things in Tamriel. We believe that these special events should come with equally special thematic rewards, and we're actually looking at Tamriel-specific holidays and figuring out which ones we want to do special things for. So
We were just talking about one not too long ago this morning.
Yep, so
About
keep an
potential
eye out.
things we could do. It's happening.
Yep.
Okay, the next question from Shadow Fighter asking if we can introduce a legendary category for colors where all colors for achievements like legendary blacksmith are stored. Interesting question. It is a cool idea, but we don't have any plans right now to add more dye categories besides the ones that are already there, which includes the common, the uncommon, and the rare. The common are generally pretty easy to earn, while the uncommon are a bit more difficult, and the rare, obviously, are much more difficult to do. Earthforge Iron Gray, that's the dye that you get for the Legendary Blacksmith achievement. That's an example of an uncommon category dye.
All right, this next one is from Elvin.Werewolf.
Where_wolf.
Where_wolf. So there are cities in ESO that have people, and there are sewers, but never have I found any toilets or anybody who needs to use them.
Really?
Where the hell do people do their business in Tamriel?
I've always wondered this. Please answer.
So we actually tapped Frastus of Elenir for an answer on this one. He says, many of the urns and receptacles you see in many Tamrielic houses are actually chamber pots. Those are not spittoons. But of course you already knew that, so I assume that your question is intended in jest. If so, I must say, I find it in questionable taste.
Me too. Come on. What kind of show do you think this is?
True.
Next, don't answer that. Next question from, we'll say Shindy, asking if we will ever see a more detailed character sheet. Things like penetration, critical damage bonus. It's something that we definitely want to do, and it's on our list of UI priorities to make improvements, but it's a little bit lower on the priority list than things such as nameplates, character recustomization feature, and it requires, unfortunately, the same engineering and design resources. So maybe one day, but probably not anytime soon.
Our next question is from Gmark, or Gmark.
Hey, Mark.
Will we ever be able to save progress in Veteran Maelstrom Arena? We are very happy to say that the answer is yes. In fact, we're working on it right now. We have some edge cases that we still need to work out, but we're getting a little closer, so you should be on the lookout for that in the future.
I know the guys have been really wanting to do this and trying to figure out a way to do it where it doesn't screw with like the leaderboard scores or whatever else. It's tough, and they just really wanted to get it in there. So
they're going to make it happen, it sounds like, so
Yes.
that you can go in and not lose your progress anytime you need to leave or
that is kind
pick
of
up
a
where you
bummer
left off.
because it's hard, and having to just go through the entire thing without getting up and leaving is
or you get disconnected.
not ideal.
Yeah.
All right, the next question is from Pterodactyl. Very cute. Can we have different colored quest markers? And then there's a whole bunch of examples that he would like to see. Having the different colored quest markers for repeatable versus not repeatable quests is something that we've definitely talked about in the past, and we are considering doing.
This next one is by Deer. Will you ever add pets that have utility features in game? Utility features could be anything from auto looting to auto gathering to adding inventory space, area awareness. So this is something we've talked about internally a lot. It's something we'd really like to do. We think it would be super cool. But the idea always falls a bit flat when we start considering, would players feel like they needed to have a certain pet? So like, would I as a cat lover feel like I had to have the dog because it has the mechanic that I wanted? Then we start talking about training pets, and the scope gets really crazy. So we would like to see building a robust system to support this type of idea, but right now it's a bit further behind things like character customization and housing as far as big systems that we are working on.
Can I just say, I always like having the dog pet. And
Yeah.
I understand that struggle where it's like, well, I really want the pet that does this, but
But the functionality
the
on this one
dog.
is, yeah.
anyway, moving on. Next question from Gitterick asking, well, he's kind of saying this might be a silly question, but will there be any content in the Thieves Guild DLC for players who don't play Thieves? Why, yes,
We've got
there
you covered.
is. There is going to be a brand new 12-player trial introduced in the Thieves Guild DLC update, which again is coming this quarter. Outside of the content, there's also a lot of new features and UI improvements and just tons of stuff in the base game patch too. So look for the PTS notes, potentially early February. Might be working on them now. They might be really long.
Might be over 40 pages.
I counted 56 last time, so.
All right, this question is by Terminator. I'm not going to try to say what that is. XVII. I don't know my Roman numerals.
17.
17?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you planning on putting laurels and gold scale in the crown store like you did with the malachite? Actually, we're working on a universal style item for the crown store. Everything that goes into the crown store is built with the motto that it just works. So we don't want to have you have to get a bunch of different things and have it be confusing, and we're working on making things more streamlined. So we execute on this a little bit better than in some areas than others. So the universal style item will work with anything and everything. When we add it to the crown store, it will actually replace malachite. And this will also allow us to stop making you as the players jump through weird hoops in order to keep crown items untradeable.
Good answer, Jess.
Why, thank you.
Next question from Hero of None. This is a lore question. Are Stranglers exempt from the Green Pact if they display aggression towards a Bosmer? I know you've
That's a
always
good
wanted
question.
to know.
That's a good question.
So
Do they get a pass?
We asked Spinner Sandarian, and they said, "You love your child, but if he misbehaves, do you not punish him?" It is even so with the green. We love our foliage friends, but wrong behavior must be punished.
So they get a timeout.
Sounds like it.
This question is by Torellis. Can we have an official pinned thread for small quality of life improvements? Basically little things that wouldn't require too much work but make our lives easier and ultimately make the players happy. We would love to do this for you. We love the idea. Look forward to seeing a thread on the forums dedicated to this next week.
Next question from Jay Wicks. Says, hello, Miss Gina Bruno. I hope you enjoyed the holidays. My question is, boy or girl? I'm so excited. So I know this isn't ESO related, but I don't care, I'm going to tell you anyway. So over the holidays, we found out the gender of the baby. And basically we had the technician write it down on a piece of paper, and then I gave it to a friend of mine who then purchased a gift, wrapped it up, and then we were able to open it on Christmas with our family and everything. It was really exciting. So I brought the thing that we pulled out of the box and told us. You want to see it?
Yeah.
I know you already know.
Yeah,
Jess was the first person I texted.
The video was adorable.
It was pretty fun. Ready?
Do it.
Argonian.
Argonian?
Argonian, really? No. Yay!
Higher. Please.
Oh, higher. Lower. There.
It's a girl. Yay! Very excited.
And Kai is also expecting him. Well, not Kai, but he and his wife are expecting. They're actually due within 3 days of Gina, and they are having a boy.
Yep.
So,
And Jess just had a girl,
Yep.
so just babies everywhere. I was so excited when we found out. I texted Jess, oh my God, just total girl squealing, and yeah, it was a good time.
it's awesome. All right. Nightmare Puppet asks, can we get a pet snake? Yes.
I see what
Keep an eye out for one later this year.
So cute.
I'm practicing my parcel tongue. Wrong IP.
So the next question is from Mayhale. It even says pronounced, but I don't know if that's
Mahale.
Mahale or Mayhale. Sorry. When a skill doesn't state a range, is there still an assumed range? Some say it's 5 meters. So for example, the Templar ability Dark Flare says it afflicts the target and nearby enemies with major defile. How nearby? Well, we are going to tell you right now.
That's a good question.
5 meters definitely gets used a little more frequently for an ability radius, but Dark Flare's major defile affects enemies within 8 meters. So now you know.
So it's special.
We wanted this ability in particular to apply to more targets since it has a cast and a travel time, making it harder to hit a group of players who are just moving all over the place.
We have a question here from Hero of None. This is another lore question. Do mead brewers also hold the title of marriage counselors in Nordic society? What do you think? Rigert the Brash says, every Nord is a marriage counselor once you pour enough mead into him. Of course.
Funny. Next question. In Jackdaw Cove, there is a Glenmoral Weird Breton, Wyrus Rashan, who has taken wolf form, but not werewolf. Could you explain the lore behind this? What type of magic or ritual did she use to achieve this? What are the limitations, etc.? So we asked Lady Cinnabar of Tanith, and she says the Glen Morrow viruses are deep in the mysteries of her scene and are known to have access to beast form magic unavailable to most of these civilized mages. The more you know.
We have a question here from Flaminier. In a previous ESO Live, you mentioned that new ESO music was going to be released in digital form in December, including the new soundtrack that came with Hrothgar, which was amazing. It's January now. Do you have a new ETA? So, yes, we were actually confident that the time frame and everything looked in order, but then the Argonian maid came in and she misplaced the required paperwork. She came and tidied up the marketing office, and she means well. Seriously though, we're in the process of getting that music up ASAP. We apologize for the delay. We ran into a few unforeseen hurdles. As soon as the new music is available, we'll make sure to let you know here on ESO Live, the forums, and on social media.
I was really trying to keep a straight face for you, but it just wasn't happening.
Darn that Argonian maid.
So this is the last question from Stickleback asking, do you think it would be possible to add some sort of random dungeon option to the group finder? We do think it'd be possible, and we are going to do it with the Thieves Guild update, which, again, we haven't said it enough, is coming Q1 of this year. We will be giving you bonus rewards for playing random dungeons as well. So
that is exciting. All right, and in case you haven't been watching all of our news, which come out with a lot,
you should though.
Oh yeah, we'll go over some of the things that are known facts currently. So housing, player housing, we announced that in the Year Ahead article coming this year.
Barbershop, something we hear a lot about. That is also something that is coming this year. May not be called barbershop, but that's what everyone kind of asks about. Is
and that's name changes, character recustomization, race changes, which Matt went over a little bit. Also veteran ranks, those will be removed. And as Matt mentioned earlier in the show, we're doing everything we can to make sure that you do not lose any progress. That's from attribute points to your gear, to your crafting materials, and your crafting schematics, for lack of a better term.
Scrolling combat text, or SCT, something that we see a lot asking about. This is also coming this year, so be on the lookout for that.
Nameplates are another thing that is coming this year, and we are also looking, in addition to nameplates, at what we can do to make guild names displayed as well. That is a little trickier than nameplates, but also with the nameplates that includes allowing console players to show their character name instead of their gamer tag or PSN ID.
Next DLC, as we've mentioned more than a couple times on this show, that will be coming Q1 this year. It will be on the PTS for anyone who plays PC or Mac, early February. And
then,
gosh, I was going to say something else and I just forgot. I guess it wasn't important.
Okay. And then, of course, as Brian mentioned, Battlegrounds, Arenas, Dueling, all of that is still being worked on, and we will keep you updated as we get more info on those.
I remember what I was going to say.
What were you gonna say?
I was just going to clarify, when we talk about the next DLC, sometimes you'll see us saying next major update on the forums or update 9. Those are all interchangeable. It's all the same thing.
Yep.
It's not considered an incremental patch, and we're usually pretty clear when something's an incremental and when it's part of kind of the larger update.
So that is it for our news.
Oh, did we mention the things we're going to put after?
No, that's a good point.
On the thing.
So we
with
have
the words?
more Ask Us Anything questions. So if you'd like to see the ones that we went over today, and we also have some more, we just had so many, that they will be on the official forums after the show.
Sometime after the show.
Yep.
So, last giveaway for today, we are giving away this really fancy leather journal.
It's a little hard to see in the plastic, though. It's got a nice tooled Ouroboros. It's leather bound.
Has pages.
The plastic makes
I don't
it
think
tough.
it's going to show up very well. You can't buy this thing anywhere. There's something very similar available in the Bethesda store, but it's not the same one. I think the one on the Bethesda store is like a black leather. This
Yeah,
one's
this
brown
one's
and
brown.
a little more flexible.
It's got Bethesda and ZeniMax on the back. It's nice. So the giveaway word?
It is steel. Not like aluminum steel, but like I'm stealing this from Jess. Or like Thieves Guild stealing. Here, you can have that. So STEAL, if you're interested in winning this really awesome notebook that literally not that many people have. It actually also says Elder Scrolls Online on the spine too.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of cool.
That is nice. It's our logo.
I think these were only really given out to like some employees. I don't even know who beyond that, so you could be part of the cool club.
They're rare.
I do have one, but I don't write that often, so it looks
type
pretty.
notes. We're in the modern age. We type our meeting notes.
Or we have no internet and we don't type anything.
All right. Do we have a winner?
Can you see the winner from here?
No, I can't at all.
The winner is Lord Shumkins.
Lord
Shumkins?
Chumpkins. That is an amazing name.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We will send this out to you next week.
Yep. Kai will most likely be contacting you on Twitch chat. Check your other tab just in case. That goes for any time. If you win something, check your other tab because sometimes our messages kind of just get thrown in there. We're just other.
For the other.
We're the others. Well, that wraps up today's show.
Yep.
First one from 2016. It was great to be back.
And thank you so much for joining us. We will be back in 2 weeks. I want to say it's on Friday, January 29th.
29th.
Is that right?
Back to the regular time
Yep.
at 4 o'clock. We just kind of did a special time today to accommodate some of our guests today.
And as always, please let us know your thoughts if you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to see something new, we'd love to hear it. Go onto the official forums or on any of our social media channels and let us know.
And if you have any creations you want to share with us, whether it's fan art or music or an event or what have you, be sure and email us at community@elderscrollsonline.com.
So we hope you're as excited for 2016 as we are. And we hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you in Tamriel.
Bye.